So, hello, peace be upon you. Welcome to another episode of the Happiness Revolution, where I talk about stuff that will make you happy and make the world a happier place by talking or telling you about age-old wisdom. So, not stuff that only I know, stuff that's widely known, but not you. Well, known has been known and recorded in history for a very long time, but not widely used or so widely known, so that's what I'm telling you. And the point of these talks, which I haven't been telling you properly about actually, or repeating well enough, is that it's not just about stuff that makes you happier, but to make you more successful in life. And it's not that hard. The stuff I'm going to tell you, I say it's not that hard, but there must be a reason why people don't do it. But here goes anyway. So there are lots of wisdom that could make you more successful in all realms of your life, in your relationships and work, money, all this kind of stuff. More happier, more peaceful. There are so many things that make a person happy. More cool stuff to do in your life. I'm not going to keep making the list longer and longer, but I think there's one more thing I want to say. A better understanding of your purpose and stuff, so it's kind of a knowledge, and there's so many important things. But anyway, today's episode is about becoming a yes man or yes lady. Somebody who just says, yes, I'm going to go for doing stuff. And the idea is sort of the reason why I've kind of said yes man, yes lady is because I kind of hope that people have heard of this bloke, a British man I should say, because not everybody understands what bloke means. It's a British kind of way of saying man, person. So there was a real life person called nicknamed the Yes Man because he promised to say yes to everything, and it did have a positive effect on his life. And I think the reason why he said decided to become a yes person for a while, I think he tried it out for a year or something, is because he realised he was saying no, and he thought maybe that has a negative effect on his life, and of course it would if he says no too often. And also there was a really good film by Jim Carrey, well Jim Carrey was on it, starring role, where also called Yes Man, where he started saying yes to a lot of stuff after going to a seminar which encouraged saying yes to stuff, which opened up good possibilities in the person's life. So that's the history, but that is all I'm talking about. the stuff I talk about in these videos are spiritual age-old ideas, like I said, and they include this idea of being positive and saying yes to things. And I can give an example of the Prophet of Islam. So before I mention him, I should remind people of stuff I've said in earlier videos, which is all these different religions are actually interconnected. They have one spiritual source, which is God, but unfortunately the idea of God has been dirtied, I would say, by misbehaving so-called religious leaders. So I don't want to go back into that, but all I'm saying is that these spiritual ideas, they work, and they're very simple, and you can try them out. Just even try them out a little bit and you'll see that they affect your life in a very positive way. So now going back to demonstrate that just to demonstrate a little bit that this idea is in fact a spiritual idea. The Prophet of Islam was once asked, just one example, he was sitting down or something in some place, and the person asked him to stay there, and I'll be back in a minute, I'll be back, just wait for me, I'll be back. And the person didn't come back for a whole day, but he just stayed there. And it might sound silly, but when you understand the yes philosophy, yes, I'll do that, And then when he came back after a day, he goes, "Oh, you're still here?" And he said, "Yes, you told me to wait, and I'm here." And this guy, the Prophet of Islam, was very busy. He's basically starting a worldwide. His job was to start a worldwide revolution, in a happiness revolution, effectively, to make the world a better place. And so he was a busy person. He didn't have nothing to do, but he had no problem doing that. And it's because he realized there's a certain spirit, a certain flow in society, in the world, sorry, not in society, in nature, that leads you in positive ways if you go with it. So you might be wondering, what's the positive thing in just sitting in one place for a whole day? That's the topic of another episode. But what I want to explain here is that anybody who's watched the Yes Man movie, and I really encourage you to watch it, it has lots of positive ideas in there, but there are some, let's say, there's a bit of room for doubt, because you might think, you can't just say yes to everything. And I want to say, you should not say yes to everything. I want to make clear where the boundaries are for what you say yes to. So I'm going to quickly say, yes, you should say yes to lots of things. And why? Why should you say yes to lots of things, first of all, before I tell you where you should say no? Because yes opens your mind to a positive way of thinking, which is the spiritual way of thinking, to be positive and to be hopeful that positive things will come your way if you are positive. That nature, God, or whichever way you want to talk about it, because I know people don't like the idea of God at the moment, or maybe if you haven't watched my other videos, maybe you don't appreciate the nature of God, or the true nature of God, not the kind of the nature of God that's been taught by fake spiritual leaders that have made the idea of God very ugly. God is just beauty, in short, okay, and wants good things for you and doesn't need anything from you, in short. That's the short idea of God. And if you are positive, all sorts of positive stuff happens around you. People say, lots of people who've said what I'm saying before will say it in a slightly different way, because they know people don't like the idea of God. So they say the universe will start will have an effect on you, or create opportunities around you when you are positive. And when you become to be positive, start saying yes. And I see so many examples of people who basically they get so many great opportunities. I offer great opportunities to people all the time. I say, look, do this and you'll be really rich. You'll make loads of money. You basically find a job you love. They're doing horrible jobs they hate. They're not finding jobs. There's so many negative things happening around them. Their life is just not moving anywhere for years and years and years. Nothing's happening in their lives, and yet they carry on doing nothing. Yet they carry on saying no, or they don't even say no. What they say is, oh, maybe, yeah. And what I say to them is, I say, listen, this is a great opportunity. Just contact me. That's what I do, because I know most people just have a habit of turning down great opportunities. So I say, go and contact me, and they don't really they don't contact me. I am hopeful that they might contact me one day, because that will be unhopeful of me to think that they won't contact me ever. And I keep, saying, listen, try it out, but then after a while I leave them alone, because I don't want to keep hassling them, and move on to the next person and see if they want to take the opportunity. So anyway, so loads of people say no to great opportunities that keep coming their way, and they don't see the great opportunities because their minds are so closed, because they're so used to saying no. They'll say yes to the rubbish, simple opportunities that have no risks. There's nothing special about saying yes to that. You want to say yes to the scary stuff that is just out there, a little bit in front of you, with a little bit of vision. But people won't have vision unless they start saying yes. You see, vision of what can be happens when you take a little bit of a risk and you see the positive effect of it, and then you go, I can take a bigger risk, but then your vision gets bigger, you see. Vision is the ability to see in the future where other people can't see it. And the reason why other people can't see it is because they haven't taken little risks before, which show them that possibilities are possible, if that makes sense. So the bigger the risk you're capable of taking, the bigger your vision can be. Okay? Less scared you can be, because I've talked about fear lots of times. I suppose I want to keep repeating this idea that fear stops you from doing so many things, and those fears are usually unfounded. Okay, usually you might fail a little bit, but nothing really bad will happen. In fact, a little bit of bad stuff will happen. You might fail a little bit here, but generally lots of really good stuff will happen, and you'll be more excited about your life every day. So, what am I saying? Say yes. Yes, opportunity. Yes, opens up lots of stuff to you. Now, let's talk about when you should say no. So in all the videos I've been talking about being a good person, because doing good stuff, whatever good things you do, so I'm repeating stuff I've said in previous videos very briefly, but not in depth like I did in the previous video. So one of the things I keep repeating is that whatever good you do is for your own benefit. Okay, so you say no to bad stuff, to doing bad stuff, to doing negative stuff that harms other people. But say yes, back again to there isn't much. I mean, there are kind of obvious stuff you say no to, but you say yes to the stuff where you are doing good stuff that you can't see the benefit of straight away. And this is one of the reasons why I recommend you watch the Yes Man movie, because that's the idea behind this saying yes. You can't see the benefit straight away, but good stuff happens. You say yes to helping people, doing stuff that you think, I don't really want to help this guy, I don't want to visit this person, it's like really expensive and all this kind of stuff, it takes time for me and I lose stuff and whatever. Say yes, good stuff starts happening in really weird and indirect ways. You must have heard of this, like you might have heard from Christians a lot, right? And Christianity has the same source as Islam, as does Buddhism, and all these different spiritual ideas, right? Because Buddhists don't necessarily like to call themselves religions. So you would hear from, as I was saying, Christians would have said the Lord works in mysterious ways. So, and Buddhists will say that the universe will help you in a positive way when you behave positively, and all sorts of other people will say stuff like that, right? So it's not a new idea that good things happen to you, and the idea that I want to close with is that by saying yes to good things, I want you to start experiencing that weird good stuff starts happening to you. So I want you, as I say in all my videos, don't do it in a big way, don't follow my advice in a big way, try it in a small way. Take a small risk in saying yes to something, a small thing, and then wait and just see something positive happen to you. And it will be a small thing, because when you do a small positive thing, a small positive thing happens to you. But as with spiritual ideas, if you take one step forwards, 10 good things will happen to you to encourage you to do those good things. That's the way God is, by the way. So I haven't talked about introducing God too much, because I avoid saying it, because I know that there is a lot of negativity towards God. But at the same time, I've been seeing on the internet and stuff like that, a lot of people talking about spiritual ideas, because people have realized when I say generally in society, people beginning to realize more and more that there is a need for spirituality. You see a lot of these celebrities going towards these spiritual cults here and there because they've realized that having all the money in the world doesn't give you happiness. Something else does. Connection does. Like a lot of psychologists are beginning to find out from their experiments, scientific style experiments, from their surveys and stuff like that, that we need spirituality. So we need connection. We need all this stuff this kind of weird stuff that money can't buy. Okay, or actually that money can buy. If you look at my TED Talks that are on my website, that this video links to, you'll see a video called, and I'll try to put a link to it underneath this video that you're watching, how money can buy happiness. Money can buy happiness when you buy stuff for other people, for example. So anyway, I'm trying to give you an idea that you need to go towards spirituality, and saying yes will send you towards that better understanding of you and the universe, spirituality, get you more connected towards it, and also make you a lot more successful in finding jobs and stuff like that. I hope this video is useful. Thank you for watching.